two things I want to talk about as it relates to lab. The sum total of all of the activities that we undertake in lab is really to provide information. And this information is critical because this information underpins health. There are many programs that rely on the information that labs generate to operate. So the effectiveness and efficiency of their program is really underpinned through the lab services, right? Now, we have to pay attention to the quality of information that lab is producing, the timeliness of the information, the accuracy of the information, and how reliable this information is. And this brings me to the next milestone that I really want to talk about, which is an act. It's called the Medical Laboratories Act of 2022, which offers the teeth for us to regulate the operations of medical labs and laboratory professionals in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is really a regional initiative, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines has taken the lead on it, primarily because we have had the political will and we have had the support of the Ministry of Health in helping us to get this far. What this act is going to do, it is going to provide the legal framework for us to now have every medical laboratory, private and public, having to obtain a license to operate in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And also for medical laboratory professional, they are going to be required to register and also obtain a license to practice. And in addition to that, they're going to have to be able to keep their professional status up to date by always engaging in continuing education. So we are really strengthening the quality of information that is being derived from labs, owing to the fact that lab provide information that sustains a lot of what happens in health. If we go back to the COVID-19 situation, the diagnosis of a COVID-19 case, the management and treatment of a COVID-19 case, the release of COVID-19 patients, even the movement of individuals across territories was dependent on lab. I mean, I've seen and I've heard over the years that we as medical professionals are saying, oh, nobody knows about us. Well, I can tell you that in 2020, 2021 and 2022, the lab was front and center. And it's often said that you have to make the best of a bad situation. And this is what we did in terms of COVID. We were able to convince the powers in terms of our government and the Ministry of Health that because of the importance of the information that is being generated from lab, that it's necessary for us to begin the process to try to regulate. We had a lot of people who tried to take advantage of what was happening in COVID. They want everybody wanted to set up a lab. Everybody wanted to become a medical professional, and we understood the challenges that we were facing, that we couldn't really stop anybody who wanted to do a COVID test, and that really lent itself to us having the argument for us to really and truly begin to regulate the environment in which labs will operate. So we're happy to say that we now have an act that is going to require medical laboratories to be licensed. It is not by no means complete. We still have to finish the regulation. We still have to do things like set up our medical laboratory council. There are some very important committees that has to be put in place, but at least we have started the journey. And in St. Vincent, in the not too distant future, medical laboratory professionals and medical labs are going to have to now meet a national standard in order to operate and to be providing that sort of information that is going to guide our healthcare system.